Hi everyone, and welcome to another vlog. Today's going to be a bit different, so I guess I should say welcome to another oversharing episode, because I wanted to talk about, relationships, about my own experiences. I thought it would be nice to make this video. Maybe it could help someone, maybe not. It will definitely help me, to offload. I'm going through a breakup right now, and I ask this question a lot. There are many questions in my head, but this one is the most relevant. Why am I still single? Well, if I'm being completely honest with you, it sounds more like this. Why the hell I'm still single? Because I don't really sit at home. I go out, I go on dates, I'm 26 and I'm single. I know that for some people it might sound ridiculous right now, you're just 26. But for me, already 26, because I am at the age when people very soon are gonna ask me, when are the kids coming? That's a good one. I don't know, because I am just sat here in this messy dating situation. And it's a complete mess. I made some notes, what we're going to talk about today. The first one is, what is my problem when it comes to dating? Because, it's not always about other people. I might be the problem, which is hard to believe. How society affects and why it feels so embarrassing to be single. What failed dates taught me. I went on a bunch of dates every week for a couple of months. I have some thoughts about it. And last but not least, how to make it work. The first thing I want to talk about is my own problem when it comes to dating. I think that I enjoyed my single era way too long. When I broke up with my first boyfriend, it was 7 years ago. I didn't go on dates for over a year because I really enjoyed being single. And I was single for 2 or 3 years. Then I was in a long distance relationship for a year and a half. But we only saw each other about 4 times during the whole period. So basically, I've been living alone for 7 years already. Now, meeting someone new feels like a disruption. I literally don't know how to fit this person into my life, my routine. To be with someone without losing myself in the relationship. I am so used to being alone. A new person makes me feel like I don't have enough time for everything, not enough time to get everything done. I feel so distracted by them, because when you finally meet someone and feel that spark again, which is so rare, it just feels so exciting in the beginning. You want to spend all the time with them. When it finally happens to me, when I like someone, when I'm into someone, they're literally all I can think about. You spend a lot of time together, staying at each other's places, waking up together, having breakfast together, texting throughout the day. You want to see each other every single day, a few times a day, well, at least from my experience. And then I feel guilty, thinking, damn, I haven't worked hard enough today. Honestly, any day this week. One day we are at the beach club, the next day we go to the gym together, and end up spending way more time there than I would alone. Then we grab some food, we talk, and half of the day goes just like that. Not to mention how long it takes to get ready for dates. Another thing, I kind of wanted to speed up love. I'd go on a date and I'd be like, I want you to be the one. I wanted to see serious intentions as soon as possible. I could lose interest really quickly, because I'd be like, damn it, I cannot wait any longer. Can you offer me something? Can we plan something together? I tried to accelerate love. I mean, not with everyone for sure, but when I really liked someone, I'd be like, I like it. I want it. Can I have it? I was just so excited to have it all. Couldn't wait. Can we get straight to the point? What are we waiting for? You like me? I like you. Let's go out and date. This mindset came from experiences I had. I'd been only in 2 serious relationships where things moved really fast. In my first relationship, we were living together within a few weeks. My second, we were engaged in a few months. That was normal for me because I didn't have any other relationship experience. I just thought that's how it was supposed to be. When I pictured the relationship, I mostly thought about shallow things. You know, how would he look? How would he dress? I always imagined someone driven, someone always busy, always working. Now I realize that I just always wanted to be the person myself. I would sometimes save photos of good couples from Pinterest, you know, as manifestation, which I now think isn't a good idea because you are like literally programming yourself for a certain look. And when you meet someone, you know, who matches that Pinterest picture, you just might ignore all the red flag out there. And it's really hard to walk away from someone like that because you dreamed about them, you pictured them for so long, you know, and had all the pictures what they should look like. Then you finally meet them and they just turn out to be, you know, like very toxic and healthy and safe, and you still can't let go. I think I had a gap for sure, but I still don't know what was it. I do have friends, you know, I have hobbies, I have a job. I don't really feel lonely. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out. What was it like? Because I felt, even though like having all this in my life, I still felt so unhappy just because I was single. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It was coming from somewhere else, not from me. You know, I was just constantly checking out how everyone else was living, you know, without even asking myself if I wanted any of it. I guess I just saw people in the relationship and I wanted to speed up this situation for myself. Because, you know, when you see like so many people having something and you don't have it, you're like, should I also have it? I think I should have it because everyone has it. I should have it. Okay, I'll try to explain in a different way. When so many people around you in a relationship and you're not, at some point you start feeling like you are missing something, you know, someone. You ask yourself, is it like wrong to be single? Is it really okay that I'm, you know, by myself? And I'm trying really hard to explain my thoughts in English. Okay, I'll try. I'll try again without using ChatGPT or translator, okay? So, help! I need ChatGPT. I'm addicted to this. I don't like it. I always try to, you know, explain my thoughts by myself, not using ChatGPT. Okay, I just need a few minutes. Okay, I just need minutes. Here we go. So when you see something or hear something for a long time, like over and over again, at some point you start to believe in it. This is what happened to me. I just saw people in the relationship like literally everywhere, and yeah, all of my friends were like in a relationship, they were like getting married. Most of my friends, they are like my age, and I'm like am I like running out of time or something? And I tried to, you know, speed up this situation for myself, because not because I wanted to, but because I saw like, you know, so many people around me doing this, and I was like, I guess I should also, you know, have it. It made me nervous, it made me worry about it, it made me think about it, and I became this crazy maniac that was looking for love. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one this crazy. It feels a bit vulnerable for me to share all of this with you guys. You know, to share this on the internet, but whatever. Let's move on. When some people ask you like, are you in a relationship or are you seeing someone? And when you say no, they've been like, oh, don't worry, you'll meet someone, you're so like, you're gorgeous, you'll find someone. They make you feel that there is something wrong with you just because you're single. And you're like, yeah, I guess. I also hear this all the time, like all the good ones are taken. And the whole thing that you cannot date forever, like there is an age limit, you know, and once you reach it, that's it. you're done. You're gonna be single for the rest of your life. And this kind of thinking really weighs on me, and it makes me feel like I should do something about it, even though I don't feel like it and I don't want to, but I have to. Otherwise, I lose momentum, it will be too late when I'm finally ready. I just go on dates with this nagging feeling, like something is constantly like pushing me, rushing me, all those like thoughts. Like you just sit on a date and be like, I hope he's the one. If he's not the one, you try to find the next dates as soon as possible because you feel like you're running out of time. You have to hurry, chop, chop, chop. I know that I'm only like 26, I have plenty of time, but sometimes I do worry and overthink about it, I think like, what if it's true? Like, what if all the good ones are taken? What if I enjoy being single for too long and I will just end up single forever? What if I lose the momentum? It's like it's coming and going. One day I'm really happy to be single, and the next day I am just sad and scared that it might never happen. I found another way to put even more pressure on myself. The thing is, I really want to meet someone right now because I really like the idea of us being around the same age. Imagine having all those memories of being young together, seeing new places together for the first time, buying our first flats, getting cats. Okay, that was just me and my fantasies. Don't expect too much from me. What did you expect? That I would say kids? I don't know. Let's not talk about it because I cannot find even a date. What are we talking about? Move on. Don't get me wrong, it's still amazing like to meet someone you truly vibe with, someone who makes you feel safe, when there is like this connection, something warm and nice, no matter your age. But to find it now at 26 in the middle of this hookup culture, it's like a dream. Okay, let's move to the next one. This is my favorite one. What mistakes I made in a relationship. So the first piece of advice I heard online, put yourself out there and widen your circle. If you really want to meet someone, you have to be proactive, which basically means treating dating like a job. Going on a bunch of dates every single week with as low expectation as possible. Let me tell you something. It is impossible. You have a job, friends, errands, hobbies, life, and then they tell you lower your expectations. I go on a date because I have this expectation that it's gonna work out. Why would I even go on a date if I didn't expect anything? Okay, I get the point, but why none of them tell you how to actually do this? To go on a bunch of dates every single week. Firstly, you need to find a bunch of dates, which takes some time. Secondly, it takes a lot of time and energy to get ready for a date, to sit there, and have that conversation for an hour, 2, 3. On top of that, you have a job, friends, family, errands, hobbies, and then they tell you lower your expectations. When I really don't expect anything, I just stay home and watch another K-drama because I have as low expectations as possible. I mean, if the soulmate knocks my door, I wouldn't mind because, not much expectations. Well, I know that they suggest to do like coffee dates, only like for 15-20 minutes. But I don't know, I've never tried, honestly. I feel like I need more time. I don't know, let me know, how does that go? So coming back to go on a bunch of dates advice, it became all I could think about. Just keep going on more dates, like more is more. I was kind of there, but I didn't want to be there and I didn't want to go on dates anymore. I remember I'd sit at home thinking, I don't feel like it, like I don't want to go, but I've already said yes. And he was already waiting for me at the restaurant. But then I thought, I didn't feel this spark, But then they say it's not always about that and you should go on a few dates and see how it goes. If I don't go, I'm not trying. So I just kept going on dates, wondering if this one or that one is the one. I don't really get it when people say, lower your expectations and just relax. It's one thing when you don't expect anything for the first few dates, and another thing when it's your 20th date and, relaxing and expecting nothing is just unrealistic. Honestly, I've noticed the more dates I go on, the more tense I get inside. Like, when is this actually going to happen? Like, I cannot keep going on more dates anymore. I cannot keep searching. Dating can be so fun. Honestly, I've really enjoyed that time. Like, I had so many wonderful dates. But when it goes on for too long, it starts really to weigh on you. Just like being single, at first it's really fun until you've been there for too long. For me personally, I realized that this strategy doesn't really work for me. Like, when you try to solve love like a math equation, it doesn't work for me. It was an experience in my life that I'm never having again. To go on a bunch of dates, it was such a waste of time and energy. I'm not an expert, but I am an expert by my own feelings and my own experiences. But you become this obsessed maniac that is looking for love, And I think it just pushes people away. I also think in this foggy state, you might choose the wrong ones. All right, there is another thing that I tried. When I was going through a breakup, I was coming across, some stories on the internet of people breaking up, getting back together, and eventually like getting married. I actually followed some people for a very long time, some influencers, and I saw them like break up, get back together, and then they ended up getting married. All those stories just made me think, like, what if it's my case? Maybe this is real life, like maybe it can work out, but you should just try a little harder. Also, the thought of having to go on another date, and starting like all over again and getting to know a new person already drains me. It was not the only reason. I actually had like very strong feelings for this person, so I was like, let's give it a chance, I genuinely think that it might work for some people, but before you look at what other people are doing online, you should just sit down and carefully look at your own situation, which I didn't do. I just texted my ex. If they don't respect you, if they treat you like really badly, if there is like some kind of abuse or something, I don't think it's ever gonna work. Actually, every time it will end up the same way, which happened to me. What actually can help to make this decision is just like write down everything you felt with this person, like all of it. For me, for example, I was terrified to share my goals and plans. I didn't feel safe to open up to him. Sometimes when I wanted to talk about something or to ask something, I'd hesitate because there were some moments there when he could like just brush me off, like he could care less. So yeah, just sit down and think about what was the real reason, like why you guys broke up. If you see the world like completely differently, if there is like nothing in common and you really struggle to communicate and it feels like you're from completely different planets. Yeah, I mean, sure, on the surface things might seem fine, like, great sex, good moments here and there, but there is always some tension underneath it all. So I think before you dive back into all this with your ex, you should really weigh everything up, like all the pros and cons. Now every time when I come across someone else's experience or advice, I ask myself if this even relevant to my situation. Probably not. And I just, throw it away. Not good has come from mindlessly texting your ex just because you miss them. Almost the last one, what failed dates taught me. There is a good part about going on a bunch of dates advice, because now I have some kind of understanding of myself. Like, I learned a lot about myself. I always thought that I was strong, I always thought that I had boundaries, self-respect. Turned out I had none of that. I couldn't even go through a breakup. Like, I needed to distract myself, like immediately go on another dates, change my hairstyle, plan another trip. I needed big changes every time I felt that pain. So now instead of brushing off my emotions, I am learning to sit with them. There was a meme, depression cannot catch a moving target. Turned out it can. I feel really sad at the moment. I feel bored, like I still have this pain. I still try to heal. But this time though, I am not planning a new trip. I am not changing my hairstyle. I'm not going on more dates. I know that I will heal and it's gonna take some time and it's okay. You know, I know that I can do this and that I am stronger than this. It can be really exciting in the beginning, and I learned that you should slow down and like observe and pay attention to what this person tells you. Because whatever people say in the beginning, they actually mean it and they will actually do it. Once I was told something, like it was all of a sudden. We were at my place and, you know, like getting ready to go out. Out of nowhere, he goes like, we didn't even talk about it, anything like that. And he goes like, I would never choose my girlfriend to my friends. I was like, what do you mean? And then he goes, well, it's just more painful for me to hurt my friends than my girlfriends. You know, basically saying you're not a priority in my life, like sort of warned me, you know, at the beginning. I just ignore it. I was honestly shocked. I didn't even know how to react to it. Like, just never happened to me. It was like all of a sudden, you know. This excuse makes me feel better. That's, you know, I didn't expect anything like that to hear. So yeah, guess what? It was really totally okay for him to hurt me. And sometimes he did that on purpose, just to see my reaction. He said so many things like that that really hurt me, you know. He could do really nasty things to me. It was just like a whole roller coaster. You know, he played like catch-up games with me. It was just extremely unhealthy. I've never experienced anything like that. I've never seen a more disrespectful man in my life. Honestly, what really hurts isn't what he said or what he did, but the fact that I let this person into my life. This is really painful. When I think back about, you know, some certain moments with him, just something inside me squeezes. Like, I'm like, girl, I did, like, what? Why I did that? So yeah, I'm not mad with him. I am so mad with myself. And this is what I'm going through right now. And now I tell myself, just, you know, slow down, and to build a serious relationship with someone, you've got to take this decision really seriously, like not rush it. Definitely not. Not every person you meet is the one. Like I'm not for everyone, and everyone's not for me. It can be short but wonderful. So I guess I'm just going to enjoy whatever I have today. All these expectations, like, you know, the next one has to be the one, you know, the fear, what if it's not the one, what if it's not gonna work out again. It's so draining, and endlessly analyzing everything, like, you know, and measuring it to your expectations. I should just lower my expectations, even though I was making fun about it at the beginning of the video, but I really have to, you know. I made a deliberate choice to stop watching anything that influenced my decision when I feel vulnerable. For example, tarot reading. I know, this is so embarrassing. You know, when they say, oh, your ex misses you, you know, they think about you, they really regret they lost you. I know this is so embarrassing to admit, but I did so many stupid things like that. You can judge me. I deserve that. I know. You know, I will try to find an excuse for myself. When you just feel sensitive, you really try to search for some answers, you know, from the outside instead of looking inside. You know, like watching some people's stories. Like a couple of weeks ago, I came across a video with Casey Neistat, I think. He was like telling a story about him and his wife, that they got married, and then a while later they broke up, and then a year later, I think, something like that, a year later they got back together, and now they're like still together. For a second, you know, this nasty voice in my head telling me to text my ex, and then I was like, nope, this is not your story. We've seen it 3 times and we already know the end. So I just shut it off. I didn't even watch the rest of it. So the last one, so exciting, how to make it work, finally. Well, first, give yourself some time to heal. Like, I finally realized how important it is. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. And then just look back and think about when things went wrong, you know? So you don't fall into the same pattern. You're not carrying your old wounds into new relationship. I had a couple of bad experiences, but I constantly tell myself that everyone's different, because it's not helping if you want to meet someone like really nice, but you believe that all men suck, like all men want one thing, or all women, you know, only care for money. It's not helping. Actually, your brain will find proof everywhere. It will literally like filter everything through that lens, and you have to change that lens if you really want to meet someone, you know. Otherwise you'll be stuck in the same loop like over and over again. What else? I don't know, you just have to believe like 1,000% that you're gonna find your person, you know. Because I guess, yeah, there are some people who are like extremely lucky and they find someone like from the first few tries, you know. But I guess for most people it takes some time to find, like, you know, let's call it the soulmate. There are a lot of single people there, great people, you know, that are waiting for us, like for you and me, guys, if you're single. The main question is like, you know, out of there is where? Can you be a bit more specific? Drop the pin. We're gonna finish this video, and maybe you guys want to share your dream way to meet someone, and I'll tell you mine. My dream is the way I want to meet my, you know, the one, the soulmate, my soulmate. So I imagine myself going somewhere like really early in the morning, like to yoga class, for example, okay? I am kindly aware of all my imperfections, you know, in which perhaps I may be difficult. I am familiar with all my parts, like good and maybe not so great. I just, you know, I still accept myself. So how to make it work? I guess it all starts like, you know, here and here. And you have to heal and shift your mindset. Something like this. I'm gonna try a new thing.